Hi, this is Thad Fink again with Unimar. What this segment is going to cover is the installation of the surge device for the lighting system. This covers FAA type LA64, LA65, medium intensity lighting systems, and Unimar part numbers DLS1-008 and WLS1-008 medium intensity lighting systems. Starting out, we wanted to make it clear this is the most intricate part of the installation. Just go ahead and take your time, follow the video, follow the manual, and do the install. But it is the most intricate and time-consuming part of the installation. Other thing we want to talk about is we've got stuff prepped so we get through this video as quickly as possible. We've got 2 surge devices ready to go. We've got all of our cable and everything stripped and ready to go, so we can go ahead and move through this video as quickly as possible, and you guys can get to the install and get on your way. First thing we need to go over is our recommended tools, and what we're going to need to talk about is everything you need. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need your 18 gauge wire strippers. We talked about this in the tool section. We need to strip the wire, 18 gauge. We're going to need our razor knife with our nice sharp fresh edge. We're going to need our Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to need our 1/8 inch flathead screwdriver. We're going to need our 3/8 inch nut driver. We're going to need our wire snips. We're going to need our crescent wrench. And finally, the most powerful tool in your toolbox is your camera. After you get the install done, take pictures, so if anything happens at the site, you can go ahead and say, oh, we know we're connected and everything is good inside there. So those are tools you need. In the big picture, okay, what's going to happen? You're going to have your controller mounted on your H-frame or in your shelter or wherever you want to mount it at. You've got your controller mounted down on the ground. You've got your flash head up on the tower, and you have 18 gauge 8 conductor cable running in between the control box and the flash head. That cable is going to have a break in it, and where that break is where you're going to have your surge box. You're going to bring your wires right into the surge box. The surge box needs to be mounted within 2 feet of the controller. That's the ideal location, is within 2 feet of the control box. And so you're going to have controller, surge device, flash head, and that's it. So that's kind of the big picture on how this thing goes together. Next thing we're going to go over is the installation. So first things first, before you install this thing, you have to have your cable prepped. Okay? Now the cable we have prepped a little bit differently than how we prepped it for the flash head and the control box installation. So what we have here is we have our 18 gauge 8 conductor wire, and we have removed the jacket. Okay? We have 8 inches from the tip of the wire, about 8 inches, so at least 6 and preferably 8. So we have removed 8 inches of jacket. We've pulled the jacket off, we've exposed the foil. So we've taken the foil and we've actually cut the foil this time. Last time we wrapped it and taped it. This time what we're going to do is we expose the foil and we cut it, so it's about 2 inches long. And we pull the conductors apart. We have removed the filler and the fiber. We've cut that. So we have our 8 conductors. We've exposed our foil. We've removed the jacket. And we've also taken our wire strippers and we've prepped these wires. You guys strip these wires. And you're ready for installation. So a little bit different on the install for the surge device than the others, but still pretty basic stuff. Coming to the surge device. Right now we have this guy tacked down on our bench here. When you install this thing on the field, it's going to be much easier if you mount the box before you go ahead and make your wire terminations. So go ahead and mount it as close as the control box as you can, and then you can go ahead and get to work. Now, we've got the hardware loosened up for you, so we can go ahead and just pull the screws right out of here. And one thing we did want to point out is as you're taking off the cover, there's a really fine gasket right inside the cover. If you go ahead and take this thing off at an angle or jerk it, you could end up popping that gasket out of there, and it's cumbersome to put back in place. So just after you get your hardware out of there, when you take it off, just try to take it off evenly. Don't do any quick jerk type motions. Just go ahead and rip or pull it open, flip it over, and what you see here is the gasket's in place. So we did okay there. The gasket remained intact. It's all ready to go, and we're good. So when we put the thing back on, we'll put the cover back on. All we got to do is drop it in place and then tighten down the hardware. Next thing we're going to go over here is everything that we have going on inside the surge device, and it's pretty basic stuff. We have our surge board right here. This side is going to go up to the tower, to the flash head, and this side terminal block is going over to the control box / power supply. We have a wing nut in here and a little cable hold down. We got a 3/8 inch standoff here where we're going to run our drain wires, and we have our ground wire over here. Now it'd be really nice when you mount this thing close to your enclosure if you can get this ground wire to the chassis ground of the control box. So if you can find a place where you can mount this thing on the foot, the control, scrape away some paint, get a good connection. Ideally you can mount this to the chassis of the controller. Now we're going to go ahead and do the install, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to do a couple of connections so you have an idea, and we'll go from there. So we're going to go ahead and make sure all of our conductors are nice and snug. We're going to go ahead and slide them through the cable cord grip. And when you put that foil through there, just just be careful it doesn't get balled up on you. And we're going to go ahead and take this guy up here to where the wing nut goes down. So, and this guy here is, we'll go ahead and get him ready here. We want to go ahead and slide him through as well. Kind of hit my... We've got to clean these conductors up a little bit when we get through here. They got a little bunched up on me. And keep your foil nice and snug. Excellent. So, and here's the goal: is to get the little washer on here. You want to expose. You want to make sure you have the foil exposed on both sides of the washer. And we're going to go ahead and snug them down. Excellent. So it doesn't have to be that tight. Now I'm going to go ahead and take these guys, and I'm just going to route them out of the way so you can see me installing the other half over here. And we'll just make a couple connections here so you know what's happening. The terminal block here is a press type terminal block. It's not the installation displacement that we have in the flash head or the control box. So we're going to have to get our 1/8 inch screwdriver, and we're going to go ahead and make our terminations that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to, we have our wire stripped, and we're going to press down on this little tab right here, so you guys can see this. Push your wire all the way in, let go of the tab, and pull. And it just goes ahead and bites the wire and snugs down. Black is next. We'll go ahead and push down the tab. And it was not a good connection. There we go. We've got the conductors all cleaned up here. Push down on the tab. Oops. There you go. Release and pull. And then the last one here we'll do purple or violet. Go ahead and again, you line up your screwdriver, press it down, insert the wire, pull out. Perfect. Okay, good. So you're going to go ahead and do that, and you're going to do that with both sides of the cable. Okay, and we're just cleaning it up here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fast forward here to a completely installed box. Okay. And what you see here is the completed installation. Now what we've done is we've got all of our conductors going to each the appropriate colors on the decal. We've got our drain wires running over here to the standoff, And you don't. I just cleaned up my install by doing the wire snips on there and cleaning that up a little bit. We've got our wing nut and washer tightened down. So we've got foil on both sides, so we know we've got a good connection there. And we're going to run our ground wire over to the chassis of the control box. So once you have all your connections done, go ahead and snug down your cable cord grips. Going to use a crescent wrench for that. Go ahead and snug them down. And finally, that's the install. So before you put your cover back on, go ahead and grab your camera, take pictures, make sure you have a nice picture of everything. If you have a video, you can go ahead and do a pull test with the wires. And after you've got your pictures done and your video done, you can go ahead and you can put your cover back on. And you can grab your hardware and go ahead and drop it in place. Since this is a gasketed enclosure, I would recommend for an even tightening to do diagonals. So we'll get your Phillips head screwdriver, and you want to go here, 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 and here. That'll snug that cover down, and the installation will be done. If you need additional information, you can reach us at 315-699-4400, or you can find us on the web, www.unimar.com.